Peace, family. This is Lions Den with another news and commentary. This story is so much of miscarriage of justice. I don't know what you call this. Cyntoia Brown, a child sex slave who killed man who brought her, must serve 51 years in prison before she's eligible for release. Are you kidding me? This article is coming from the Griot. Um, Cyntoia Brown was just 16 years old and a victim of child sex trafficking when she was charged in 2004 with killing a 43-year-old Nashville real estate agent who solicited sex from her. Today, the Tennessee Supreme Court ruled Brown must serve at least 51 years in prison before she's eligible for release. The court ruled defendants like Brown, who are convicted of first-degree murder committed after July 1st, 1995, and sentenced to life imprisonment, can't become eligible for release from prison before serving more than 5 decades. Let me stop you right there. And you know that the state Supreme Court here in Tennessee is predominantly white. And the miscarriage of justice for this young lady who basically, was a victim of the child sex trafficking. And now she's going to serve 51 years before she's released. This is outrageous. And I'm going to continue to read this article. Brown said she killed Johnny Mitchell Allen, also known as Cutthroat, after she feared he would kill her. Allen allegedly drove Brown to his house in his pickup truck. There, Brown saw a gun cabinet in Allen's room. She said during her trial, Brown said she became convinced he was going to kill her after he appeared to reach under the bed. Fearing for her life, she shot him in the back of the head in bed with a .40 caliber gun. Now, here in Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen, there's a stand your ground law here. And obviously, she killed this man in self-defense, and she's still going to serve 51 years in prison. If this ain't miscarriage of justice, I don't know what is. She was 16 years old, and she's basically now going to serve 51 years. It's just like, I'm going to continue to read this. He said, I'm going to go ahead and finish reading this. In a unanimous decision on Thursday, the court 5 justices ruled that despite Brown's age, her sentence was constitutional. Thursday's ruling came in response to a lawsuit in which Brown argued her sentence was unconstitutional, citing a 2012 opinion by the U.S. Supreme Court that said mandatory life sentence without parole for juvenile offenders violate the U.S. Constitution. In 2011, the PBS documentary Me Facing Life, Cyntoia's story details the atrocities that Brown suffered. Allen, said to be her pimp, allegedly forced her into prostitution, and she was regularly raped, choked, beaten, and drugged, according to an early article in the Griot. In its ruling, the Tennessee Supreme Court explained in a statement that under state law, a life sentence is to terminate sentence of 60 years. However, the 60-year sentence can be reduced by up to 15% or 9 years by earning various sentence credits. According to the Tennessee Code, those credits include recognition for good behavior or participation in educational or vocational training programs. A district court had early denied Brown's motion, stating that she hadn't been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole rather than a life sentence. I'm gonna tell you the truth real quick. This is remind you. You know what this remind you of? This remind you of Marissa Alexander in Florida. Remember that situation in Florida in your Stand Your Ground case when her allegedly husband was threatening her life. She used her gun shoot in a ceiling, and she was serving almost 20 years imprisonment before the judge reduced that sentence. And basically, she basically did good behavior and released early. So now this is similar to that. Continue. The case is pending judgment by the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, which asked the Tennessee Supreme Court to share its opinion. During the clemency hearing in May, the Tennessee Board of Parole was split on its recommendation to Governor Bill Haslam. 2 of 6 members voted grant clemency, 2 to deny it, and 2 make her eligible for parole after 25 years. After the initial sentencing, Brown's case drew attention from celebrities like Rihanna, Gabrielle Union, and Kim Kardashian West, who began advocating for mercy. Her story spread on social media using the hashtag #FriendCyntoia Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a miscarriage of justice. You know, so and what they don't realize is that the state of Tennessee has stand your ground law. And obviously, she basically she's been threatened by this man. She's threatened to kill her. And obviously, she did this in self-defense. And you see that the state Supreme Court in Tennessee is all white. So she couldn't get a fair trial even if she wanted to. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is sad, outrageous, and miscarriage of justice for this young lady. She was a victim of sex trafficking. She was threatened by this Nashville real estate agent. And when can justice be served equally? But at the same time, you got other people who did far more worse and then got lesser sentence than Cyntoia Brown. Way lesser sentence. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm basically is outraged of what the state Supreme Court is doing. But knowing Cyntoia Brown's attorney, he may get have an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court if that's possible. But this is just outrageous and an embarrassment to the state of Tennessee that believes in equal justice under the law. And you're going to serve this young lady for defending herself 51 more years before she was released. Outrageous. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this article. Share this video. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Subscribe my reaction channel. And subscribe my Black Junction channel for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.